Okay, I have a really fun message today, and it's about you being the gift that keeps on giving, but it's incremental steps that you're taking into the timeline that you desire. And I'll tell you, there was so much going on. Right now, it just feels like my mind is at 100 miles per hour, while I'm also simultaneously experiencing myself as the road where all of these messages are just streamlining for you. Anyway, it smells like apple and cinnamon in here right now, and I kept hearing it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. And if you think about Christmas, it's a lot to do with Christ consciousness, which is it's beginning to feel a lot like a fractal of awareness that has become conscious of itself, that's moving through the system with a level of lucidity. And this level of coherence is actually leading to your magnetic field becoming this very, very powerful vortex. And I'm seeing it as this field of experience that's actually, how do I explain it? Almost like coming into resonance. It's like you're bending reality through returning back to your natural frequency, which is your interconnectedness to all things. So it's reality essentially being something that rarely shifts through one giant leap, but instead it bends through these incremental steps that you take, or this repeated energetic signature that begins to, I'm hearing, inform reality. There's something that you're informing reality through by the congruency of you supporting some kind of cosmic intention that you have through your physical application or embodiment. And I'm seeing that lead to the rapid acceleration into what is going to feel a lot like Christmas. So I'm seeing it as wishes come true type of energy. And it's not through the absence of action, it's through the physical application. All right, it's that there's something around supporting celestial desires with the terrestrial movement that this instrument or physical vessel that allows you to do. Okay, allows the soul to experience. I'm seeing the manipulation of matter, okay, in regards to mastery of matter. There's something that you're mastering in the physical realm. Anyway, it could be changes that are happening when it comes to your identity. It may also be changing the timelines that you're becoming coherent with. This is because quantumly, reality responds to the version of self that you're embodying, right? The signature of consciousness. When I talk about the signature, I'm just talking about the frequency of consciousness that you are embodying. And right now, you're embodying the future version of you that has already received what it is that it desires, but you're walking yourself back in a linear fashion to witness the becoming of an event that has already come to be in your life. It reminds me of like a kid on Christmas morning cultivating this deep, profound sense of safety inside of your vessel so that the soul finally feels safe enough to play again. It's something in which you're returning back to, and that being a state of consciousness in which heaven resides to you. That alignment in how you align yourself with really conducive realities is a place that you return to first within, right? That's what it is. Alignment is a state of awareness that you return to that then projects into this simulation external alignments. So I'm seeing it as networks being established, right, and branches that are extending you into a new culmination point where you're at the edge of, or the threshold into this new realm of experiences, okay, available for this version of self. Right, so let's go ahead and get a gateway of the light activation message. I just want to see what's happening. Yeah, third eye. There's something that you're seeing from the lens of the soul, and this is your multi-sensory perception system. So it's to be able to see through the illusion of separation between you and the highest version of self. And there's ways that you're moving through this existence that's narrowing the perceived separation that's happening. It reminds you of quantum entanglement, like quantum particles within these non-local universes that are still connected at the molecular level. Okay, there's something that's happening where you're beginning to embody that parallel version of self until the separation gap closes and closes and closes, and you become one once again and reality responds to that fusion that takes place. So it definitely feels like some type of fusion. And it's interesting because the central sun is here at the base, and the central sun is our main domain into almost like a portal into these alternate realities or alternate expressions of self. You're beginning to embody a parallel version of self, non-local to this universe, inside of your local universe. And I'm seeing that automatically places you at the edge of your local cluster, where reality is like, hold on, where you're embodying a complete different version of self, you're taking action like that version of self would, and there's something like that that's happening anyway in your field. So yeah, it could feel like you're becoming an entirely new version of self, and it's just because there is some type of disciplined choice that you're taking, aligned action, and also maybe acts of just compassion and self-respect that you have, and honoring the soul's journey, where there could be a risk that you're taking, maybe despite fear that you could feel present in the body, maybe a new habit that you're forming of what this version of self would do. It kind of reminds you of trying on a character or getting acquainted with a character. You know, like actors, it could be a new role that you're playing in your life, but actors go through this preparation before they step into this role. And part of that preparation requires for them to begin to embody what that version of self would. And so there is this recalibration that's necessary. I'm hearing where you're getting acquainted with your future self. And any desire that you have very strongly right now is communication from your future self. The reason you feel that very strong desire is because you're tuning into reality where it's already yours. And any gut feeling that you have in regards to some type of connection to a thing or an experience in which is to be fulfilled has already been fulfilled. You're tuning into the universe where you've already accomplished it. And so that gut feeling is this memory. There's something that you remember already happening that's encoded for you within your life experience. That's what this is. It feels like you're witnessing the becoming of something that has already come to be. So yeah, third eye is your multi-sensory perception system. It's your ability to tune into dimensions or frequencies, or let's just say universes in which these events have already played out. This is what it is, to see beyond the here and now, to see beyond the human lens and into your imagination, which is a preview of life's upcomings. It could be you receiving a glimpse into your destiny before it unfolds. Okay, so there's some type of information that you're sending through the field. What feels like a distant future right now ends up becoming the version of self that you naturally embody, where that is your normal. All right, let's go and take a look at the third eye activation. That is also the cover of the book too. So again, it's like there's some type of gateway. I'm going to get one message for you. It's just going to be a 528 hertz. Again, that powerful vortice. What do we speak about? 528 hertz is the love frequency. It's about unconditional love that actually sets off entropy. Entropy talks about a loss of order in a system, where there can be a level of molecular confusion that a being is experiencing, but it's because they need to clear their hesitation and establish organization in their life. So there's something that you're organizing your life around right now. It may be around this mission, it may be around this desire. Let me go ahead and take a look at 528 hertz to read that for you real quick. I just want this to be a quick and to the point message. 528 hertz is at the beginning, and it speaks about, do you want to know what the most powerful energy source in all space is? It's the love frequency. How can you doubt what develops through an act of love? So again, there's acts of love that you're taking to honor the soul's journey. It's from here that everything is born. Love is an artist who works in silence, and generally the most transformative acts do not make much noise. They are like the person who collects rubbish early in the morning, even though you do not know their motive, their name, or their life. They are still there every day doing something essential for you. There can be no large action without individual action. What seems like a small gesture combines to create an invisible yet indestructible connection. Love works like the universe, unseen and outside of the spectrum, but tangible in everyone's senses. So this talks about the return to the original DNA state. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's the powerful energetic source in which the whole world is made up of. It's to unite, integrate, and embrace. This is what it is. There are small habits of behavior. I'll give you an example. So, I don't remember his name, but he's an actor, right? And he wrote in one of the captions of the photo that he posted of, okay, sometimes my body looks like this and sometimes my body looks like this. And he spoke about, in order to prepare for the role of a character that he was playing, that, was really, he was like this really, just, let's just say, physically fit person, and he would find ways to reconnect with himself. And anyway, the character of the role that he was playing was kind of this athletic archetype, but that's not who he was in his everyday life. So he would have to close the illusionary gap of separation between him and the role in which he wants to embody. So he would begin taking care of his diet. He said he eliminated like wine and burgers and just like greasy food from his diet in order to be able to embody what that version of self would do. So there's something around the embodiment of the parallel version of self that closes that gap of separation until you begin to embody those characteristics and traits. And it could be just things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis when it comes to habits you're establishing or integrating into your everyday life. But think what that version of self, think how they would think, feel how they would feel about their life experiences, and begin to not underestimate how every tiny decision you make, that incremental act of self-love, and however you show up for yourself, right? Verb is not it's a state of awareness. It's not just a biochemical sensation within the body or affection. Love is actually your ability to, I'm hearing, establish certain roles in how you position yourself in this planet. It's how you choose to show up for yourself, right? Verb is love is a verb, so it requires action. What are acts of love that you do on a day-to-day basis? And that could be through forms of discipline that allow you to cultivate maybe a new skill set that version of self has attained. Maybe it's some type of habitual way of moving through life that becomes something that feels not natural at first until you begin to reinforce this again and again to change. It just feels like neuroplasticity, where you're establishing these new synapses within the brain, where it's a habit that you have to force until it eventually feels like it creates a new fiber within the realm of your inner being. It becomes a part of who you are. And there's a new order that's being established in your life where you are, I don't know, there's something that you're doing where you're becoming, it's a part of who you are. Let's go ahead and see what this is. I'm going to take a look at a shaman's dream oracle message real quick. I'm hearing narrowing the gap of illusionary separation. So straddling worlds, wandering between realms, and the wall of obstacles. Okay, this talks about getting used to having one foot in your old world while you dive into having one foot in the new world. I'm hearing establishing a new order. I'm also seeing world order. So an order in the way in which you move through the world. The wall and obstacles talks about stop trying to knock at doors that aren't opening, because I'm hearing one closed door leads to 10 others that have just opened. So follow where you're being redirected towards. I'm hearing follow integrating systems where you may not be great at something at first, but eventually that repeated, like if you want to do a handstand, for example, you need to be able to train core strength. You need to be able to train your balance. You need to be able to be willing to fall more times than you landing the handstand at first. There is that essence. Like you have to be okay with failing at something and not seeing that failure as the end of the finish line. Instead, it is literally the training ground that is going to allow you to, I'm hearing, establish that order. Clear your hesitation when it comes to feigning. It reminds me of the saying of, do you actually fear failure? Or do you fear people witnessing, observing, or watching you fail? What's the difference? Otherwise, you would just see it as a challenge that you're going to take on, like something in which you're going to fulfill, something that you're going to keep working at continuously. I'm hearing that will lead to the inevitable reward of it. So Shining Worlds talks about it's an invitation to get used to living with one foot in your old world and one foot in the new. There is no going back to the way that things once were, and what will be is not fully here yet. But this can bring you delight as you relish the past and all of your memories as you glimpse into an astonishing and exciting future. Do not wait for an applause. Move on quietly, humbly, invisible to others. This card brings an invitation to begin not only a new chapter, but a new book in your life. Don't break the news to anyone and let yourself be as surprised as everyone else as you reinvent yourself. So again, it's an embodiment that doesn't have to be announced. Trees do not announce their growth yet. You know, everything is still accomplished in nature, although it does not feel like it has to rush. And the thing is, the soul is never in a rush. So there's this essence of just embodying these ways of being, and your silence being very, very loud as you begin to do that. So become a mystery even to yourself. Now, obstacle is you being redirected. So detours and non-action. This is a stopping point enabling you to slow down and contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everyone else forgets. It's that unpredictability occurs outside of your ability to plan, regardless if you feel like you've done everything right with the divine. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. This is a roadblock that's not to burst through or try to blast through. Instead, it's to focus on not whether you'll win or lose, but instead understand that you're a human being and not a human doing. You're reminded of your morality and that you're a small part of a bigger universe where your destiny intersects with others. Your life may be meant to serve another purpose at this moment and your attention meant to be directed elsewhere. So this is meant for you, right? There's some type of place of temporal recalibration where you begin integrating these new ways of being until it becomes your new normal. And you may feel like you're in two worlds at once because it feels like you're merging pivotal parts of yourself or these alternate identities to establish a new order. Okay, that's what this is. It's like a recalibration period where you're not fully this character, but then you're also not fully this, but you're learning them. You're learning yourself. I'm hearing over and over again, and who you are beyond the limitations that you set for yourself, okay, or the identity in which you had created. It feels like who you've had to be in order to get here is no longer who you have to be moving forward. So anyway, I'm gonna love and leave you right there. I just wanted to do this one as a short and quick message because it was definitely the energy that's coming through today. I'll see if I can get one advice message for you too. Your advice is the Two of Pentacles and the Temperance. So Two of Pentacles is, of course, somebody juggling some type of new normal. They're riding on this unicycle in the original Rider-Waite deck. And the Temperance is somebody utilizing moderation in their life. So they're taking small action where they have, it's literally the two worlds in the Two Worlds card, where they are dipping their toes in new waters while also being grounded in the land. They are taking things slow, relaxed as they balance out this new normal. So it could definitely feel like any part of your life is kind of up in the air at this moment in time, but that's because you're returning back to the quantum where you choose which version of self you want to be able to streamline now. And that requires for you to surrender old ways of being so that you can begin to streamline these higher expressions of self or the realms of consciousness that will be able to streamline through you that are in accordance with the very desire in which you seek. So I'm seeing becoming a vessel of possibility once again. You are allowing your vessel to become infinite once again, instead of subject, localized, or limited to a very particular set of timelines by being a certain version of self and feeling like that's all that's possible. When you can clear, I'm hearing your conduit, become a conduit once again, clear your vessel from its old identity and not have any kind of identity or not have any fixed way of being as you move through the world. That's when you become a vessel of possibility for far more. You can choose to collapse an alternate expression into being and embody this way of being and these different choices that you'll make that leads to this incremental journey into a new range of timelines. This is what it is, returning back to the quantum. and embodying a different physical expression. Something that's in alignment with a higher expression. So 2222 right now on the clock. So, and I have low battery. I'm loving you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. And check out Autospirit if you're looking for some high quality AAE grade gemstones. $1 proceeds or donated towards auto sanctuaries. And I'm loving you right there. Have a beautiful entrance into the month of June, my love. Until next time.